How we all doing? Hope we're doing fine. So, as you can see, the bond prices has actually been going up in the UK, and basically, what does this mean? Bonds have an inverse relationship with yields, right? Yield is the return you get on an investment, right? So, the bond keeps on increasing, yield keeps on coming down. What does that mean for the currency and the economy? It's not good because once the returns on the investment is the rate is low, that is not good for investors, nor is it good for the government because now they have to pay off more to settle the debt that because the bond is just government debt. Now they have to pay off more to settle the debt to these investors. So basically, you can see, right, if we look at the 30-year bond on the UK, in the UK rather, you can see how long it took for it to come this low. And then in just boom, a few years, look at how high it's gotten. So that is showing you worrying signs. And even if you speak to the people, right, like just talking to the citizens, like you can see there is concern and there is worry, and that is showing you weakness on the economic side of things. So guys, always we always want to pay attention to the fundamentals because that's what moves the market essentially. The technicals are there to tell us about timing, and okay, once they align with the fundamentals, now we can go in, right? We see our pattern, they align with the fundamentals, now we go in. But guys, always pay attention to the fundamentals because they move the market. As you can see yesterday, boom, the GU dropped all across the board. Like it was just a bloodbath on GU yesterday, right? You can see GBP CAD right here. This was yesterday, right? Look at this one massive candle, right? GBP AUD, pardon, GBP AUD also, right? So we had it all across the board yesterday. Whatever pair, GBP CHF, right? You can see GBP CHF also dropping, right? So guys, that was it for, and even all around Europe, in France, they have that sentiment. There's that bearish sentiment amongst the people, especially because now that you're increasing spending on defense, you're increasing your defense budget, your military budget, like you're spending a lot of money that you're not generating. So that is only a recipe for disaster. So guys, let's get into what we have to do today. So with Euro USD, right? With Euro USD, you can see from yesterday we were looking for higher prices for it to maybe liquidate this high and then look for that change of character and then start to sell off, or perhaps this high, trying to catch the trend line traders out, but that didn't happen. So now we just sold off, changed character. There was a market structure shift, and now we're bearish. So I just want to say perhaps we could have this trickle, maybe some manipulation of higher prices, and then start to come down lower. But for now, I'm not interested yet. But I'm still looking for short to take out this lows, these lows, and remember, guys, we still have this NFP low from last month, right, that we still want to take out. And yeah, speaking of NFP, today, sorry, not today, on Friday we have NFP this week, so we might just see dollar just sideways. Until then, maybe we pick a direction and we go in that direction. So let's be careful, let's be patient, and let's wait for market to show us its hand. Okay, with the dollar, right, you can see we're just in a massive range right here. We're just in a range right here, right? And in this range, we came here, we liquidated the lows, and now we're going to target these highs. But for me, I'm not interested in buying the dollar here. I would look for lower prices. I would be interested in buying from this low. I would have been interested in buying from this low. You could have gotten in with the AU short or NZD USD short. We get there. But the point is, for me here, the dollar is expensive, so I'm not looking to buy it. But once we start to see this break above that 98, our next target could be this descending highs right here, this at 99. So let's just see what happens with the dollar. But keep in mind, as I said earlier, we have that NFP coming out. But we've had the liquidation of this low, so perhaps we'll have this liquidation of this highs. Maybe this, or maybe this one too. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Then towards next week, we can see what positions we want to take. If we move on to GU, right? GU yesterday we're looking for a sell, right? Similar to EU, and it was just, look at this beautiful sell, right? That occurred on GU. Let's go to lower time frame. Right, so we came here, we liquidated the high. Once we liquidated the high, this was our fractal low. We broke that fractal low. On that break of that fractal low, we could have found an entry, right, somewhere around here. I found an entry somewhere around here, where perhaps you stop above the structure, and then your target, right, at its peak, it got us a 1.1 to 2. So for me, like, okay, yesterday I wasn't on the market. I was just there earlier, but I had a lot of things to do, so it was not possible for me to have taken this trade. But I would definitely look at it, analyze it, and see what I could have done better. But the point was, I was looking for a liquidation of this high or this high and then a sell-off. But it was okay, this one is fine. It liquidated this high. Once it liquidated this high, we had that change of character, and then we just started to sell towards the downside. Okay, and now for me, what we'll just be looking for now is, okay, if we come to the 2 hour, let's go back to the lower time frame. We'd like to see some manipulation, right? Maybe taking out of this highs. So we've taken out this low, probably taken out of this high, right? And then we start to sell. Or if we just get lower prices, right? If we just start to get lower prices, right? Lower prices, and then maybe some manipulation, and then we still start to sell, right? So the point is, either from here we could get like this manipulation out here, or maybe once we're starting to sell, we build up some liquidity, take them out, and then we follow. Okay, so with AU, I mean, what can I say about AU? With AU yesterday, we spoke about it, right? So you can see, okay, first we have this supply level here, which this market came into it and sold off, and it grabbed liquidity, and then it sold off, and underneath it we have liquidity resting. We took out that liquidity, we came into this supply, strong supply. Why? Took liquidity and broke market structure, right? So once we came into that supply, all we just needed was that change of character, right? And it became pretty aggressive, right? So we're looking for that change of character right here, right underneath this low, right? Wanted that push down, and then, but it didn't give it to us. It didn't give us that change of character. Sorry, that retrace. It gave us the change of character, but it didn't give us the retracement into that supply, right here. Right, we pushed down, and then we just didn't look back. So for me right now, I'm not interested in looking for. I'm not interested in looking for what's his name? I'm not interested in looking for longs from here, nor am I interested in looking for shorts from here. I'm interested in just watching the market, staying patient, and waiting for our next beautiful setup to reveal itself. So for me right now, the market is pretty unclear, and the direction is not even clear to me. So I would just wait for it to be clear to me personally, and then start to look for positions from there. But if we look at it mechanically, from a mechanical perspective, right? So we have our demand level here, which is also a nice demand level because it took out this liquidity. Market came into it, push up. Perhaps we'll have that swipe of the low, then it will be a fractal high, a fractal low, and then you can start looking for some prices into some higher prices into this area. Who knows? But for me, I would just rather not be there today. With NU also, you can see, right? From yesterday we spoke about it. I don't want to sell from this 25% range, right? we admitted that yes, it could sell off, but for me personally, it's not really the highest probability trade that you could have taken, right? So, but still, it was a nice trade for those people who took it, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. So we have this imbalance right here, this imbalance resting right here. We took it out. Once we took out that imbalance, then we pushed into the supply level. Once we push into that supply level, all we just was looking for is that change of character from here, right? And then if we go to lower time frame, perhaps it gave some people opportunity to enter. Okay, so we had that push down and then retrace into here, and you could have found your entry from here, right? You could have found your entry from here, your stop above this highs, and you could have gotten a 1 to 1.5 or something like 1 to 1.5 on the market. So if you took that trade, congratulations, right? For me, this was just like the manipulation. What I will be looking for is if we take out these lows, right? So we can take out these lows. Perhaps we get that push up, and then we take out these lows, and then we manipulate this high, and I could start looking for entries from around here if market gives that to us. Okay, so with gold, right? I mean, this was just hypothetical yesterday. Remember our trade from last week on gold? Let's delete this. It could have been a 1 to 10. I would analyze that as a missed opportunity. I would write that down rather as a missed opportunity, because we could have just continued with the trade. We didn't have to leave. So that's also another thing that we need to work on. Letting our winners run. Letting our winners run. We caught it at a beautiful place. We took it up to here and then we left. But letting your winners run is important. But now let's stay in the moment. So for gold, what we'll be looking for, we'll just be looking for a retracement, right? I want a retracement, and then we can start looking for entries, maybe from here, or from here also. So wherever it gives it to us, perhaps NFP would give that to us, and then we can look for those entries. Okay, if we go to USD CAD for me, right? So we're bullish on USD CAD. We had that push up, right? Here we had that break of structure. Here we had that break of structure. Now we came into this demand and 0.5 fib level, our retracement level, into this supply rather. Sorry, into this demand, this whole demand, right? So this whole area is our demand area. We came into it, and then what do we have? We had the liquidation of this low, right? And we started to push up from there. For me, I wasn't, because I didn't find I was I was waiting for perhaps this lows to be taken, and then that change of character, but it never came. Now we've had that push up. Now we retrace into this area. You could have looked for that buy there. I'll definitely put this down also as a missed trade. I'll look for that buy there, and then perhaps to take it into this level, right? For like a 1 to 2.5, right? To take out this descending highs, right? So here we had that change of character, then we had the retracement, and now we're just pushing up. Okay, so USD CHF, ugly. That's why I don't look at it often. Then let's look at USD JPY. With USD JPY, you can see we were in a range, right? And for that range, it looks like a barcode. Yeah, for that range, we liquidated the lows. Did we? No. But we liquidated the highs rather. Sorry, mistake. We liquidated the highs, and then we could just start looking for those lower prices or the low. Once we start to break these fractals, right? These are fractal low. These are fractal low. Once we start to break the fractal structure, then we can start. So you can see, okay, so we came in here, we liquidated the highs, we pushed down, early sellers came in. Now we've taken the early sellers out. So for us now, below 148.262, it's valid for us to start looking for short on this pair to take it right down. But be careful because of the JPY basket, right? Let's look at the yen basket. If you look at the yen basket, right? Ugly. But we're just looking for, okay, so here we have that break, that push down from this consolidation area. Then we had that push down. Now we liquidate. Did we liquidate these lows? Yes, now we liquidated the lows, and perhaps we can start to get some higher prices on the yen to take. So once we get those higher prices on the yen, we can sell the yen dollar. Okay. So guys, I wish you a wonderful day. Stay your hands, be careful, and see you tomorrow. Thank you. I recorded this about 5 times, by the way. If you're still here, thank you. I really appreciate it.